Ashe greetings, grand rising, a grand day, and peace and goodwill to you all once again, my fellow natural native earthly humans. You, the earth's organic humans and soulful humans, you, my fellow humans with soul the world over. You don't know I am yours truly, I, the mystic philosopher, and many thanks for stopping by and giving up your time to listen to another perspective. With yours truly, I, the mystic philosopher. And welcome to this part 17. And yes, this is the continuation of the great big black and white lie exposed. If by chance you have not yet watched part 1 through to part 16, and hopefully in that consecutive order, I ask that you please do so before watching this part 17, or that you please do so at your earliest convenience. Now, for those of you who have been following this series thus far, or might have been listening to me speak on this topic elsewhere and over the years, you will have noticed and no doubt came to the conclusion that I, the mystic philosopher, have made it my personal mission to expose this lie, and by extension, to expose these lies. The great big black and white lie. And to have most of you, if not all of you, my fellow people and others to whom it may concern, come to the knowledge of the truth and to be enlightened to the destructive effects this lie, and by extension, these lies have had and are having on every aspect of our lives. And thus begin to redeem yourself from the curses of being ignorant to this lie, and by extension to be ignorant to these lies. For as it has been written thousands of years ago, or at least hundreds of years ago, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and my people perish. My people are perishing for what? Lack of knowledge. And as it has been my custom, let me remind you of my main objectives. Meaning, let me remind you of my goals, or the goals that I hope to have achieved by the end of this series, and the messages and facts that I intend to successfully convey to you all, my very patient, astute, and tolerant watchers, listeners, and truth seekers. And my objectives are at least 8, and they are as follows. At least, because I will be adding another one today. It's gonna be 9. And number 1 is this. It's to show and prove to you, all my fellow highly melanin and highly carbon skin complexion, natural native earthly humans. Notice I didn't say black. Earthly humans, why we should not and why we must not call ourselves black. Number 2 is to show and prove to you why we should not and why we must not pronounce upon ourselves black, or allow others to pronounce upon us the word, the energy black. Number 3 is to show and prove to you why we should not and why we must not identify with the word black. Answer to the word black, or allow others to call, label, list, identify, name, and bestow on us black. As a black people, a black community, a black business, a black nation, a black country, and a black race of people, etc. Don't allow it. Number 4, and by the same token, it is to show and prove to you why we should not and why we must not call, label, list, identify, profile, name, and bestow on Caucasians or anyone or any other melanin and carbon deficient race of people, for that matter. The word white shouldn't do it, and we must stop it. Number 5 is to show and prove to you that the English word black, or more correctly, the English word black, is a curse word. It is a word that brings only bad luck, bad omen. It brings subjugation, humiliation, mental physical and spiritual enslavement and misfortune and much, much more upon all those whom it has been called, upon all those whom it has been cast, broadcast, recast, and rebroadcast. And number 6 is to show and prove to you that the earth, our Mother Earth, and all her inhabitants are under the spell and the curse of blackness. Number 7 is to show and prove from the Caucasoid imperialists and colonizers' own dictionaries, namely the English dictionaries, that the people that have called, named, labeled, and listed themselves as white people, as a white people, and are calling, naming, listing, and labeling themselves white are not at all white. Open your eyes, people, and your mind, and your spiritual, and your basic common sense. It is to show and prove that nothing about them is at all white. In fact, it is to also show and prove that if or when most things, if not all things, are intelligently, honestly, seriously, meticulously, and sincerely considered, most of them, if not all of them, are black. It is to show and prove to you that they are the real and true black ones, the real and true black people. They flip this script. They are the real and true black people, and thus, in accordance to their own English dictionaries, meaning and definition of the word black, coupled with their works, coupled with their deeds, coupled with their actions, coupled with their present, their past, and their track record. The track record of them, if not all of them, are the ones that should and must be called, labeled, listed, and named, etc. black. And I ask that you please stay tuned and pay close attention to this point as I delve deeper and deeper into this topic. And it is also to show and prove that not all the people, in fact, not all of us that are called and labeled black, listed and named black, are indeed black. Some of us are, but we'll get to that later. Stay tuned. I'll show and prove to you. Stay tuned. Number 8 is to show and prove to you that this, our current existence upon this planet, is a game, and one in which we highly melanated and enriching melanin and carbon skin complexion people, humans, are being played like pawns on a chessboard. It's a game. So show and prove to you that it's a game that is heavily stacked against us, and that in order for us to change the game in our favor and to let it a little bit more fairer, we have to change the name black. We have to get rid of the curse black and all its synonyms and euphemisms as well. Number 9 is to help awaken and enlighten you, my fellow highly enriched in melanin and carbon skin, highly enriched in carbon skin complexion people, yes, look like me, and even more highly enriched melanated people. The Earth's organic humans, yes, the natural native earthly humans, is to enlighten and awaken you to the fact that by allowing yourselves to be called, named, labeled, marked, profile, listed, etc. as black, and to have the word black pronounced, cast, broadcast, recast, and rebroadcast daily on you, is also to voluntarily surrender your dignity, to voluntarily surrender your integrity and your self-respect, and above all, it is also to voluntarily surrender to the black spell and to its sorcerers and practitioners. But I will have much, much more on these points and these facts as I continue to delve deeper and deeper into this series. So please again stay tuned. Now, before I continue with this part 17, as a preamble to what I'm going to be saying, please let me again declare publicly for the 1,000 or more times that from my mystic philosopher's perspective, there are no white people are no white humans, aka white people, that are visibly living, visibly existing, and physically interacting with humans on this our planet and Mother Earth. I personally have never seen one. I've never heard or knew of anyone that has ever seen one and physically interacted with one. From the mystic philosopher's perspective, the only place on this planet Earth that they may exist is in the mind of its creator, either of its creator or of its believer. But please stay tuned, for I will have much more to say on this point later as I delve deeper and deeper into the topic and into the series, and especially when I start to decode for you the English word white, its meanings and its definitions. Now, hopefully, most of you, my watchers, listeners, critiques, skeptics, followers, and others have begun, or at the very least are beginning to see, beginning to know, understand, and understand that to be intentionally, falsely, deceptively, and maliciously called black, named black, listed black, profile black, etc., does not only mean that you are blacklisted. It don't mean that you're blackballed and that you know the difference between being blacklisted and being whitelisted. But it also means that the curse of blackness, the curse of black, the curse of the curse of the black spell has been and are being placed on you. Meaning the curse of the black spell has been and are being cast on you. And you have been labeled a write-off. Or more correctly, you are being written off by the system and the sorcerers and projectors and practitioners of what? The black spell. And your first 3 steps towards liberation and redemption from the curse of the black spell are for you to, number 1, immediately stop answering to the word black. Number 2, immediately stop identifying yourself with the word black. Number 3, you must immediately stop calling, naming, listing, profiling yourself black. Again, to quote the meaning and definition from 4B of the word black from the Winston Canadian Dictionary for Schools, and I quote, black is evil. Black, evil as a black deeds or as black deeds. Unquote. Black is evil. The word black is synonymous. The English word black is synonymous with evil. The word black is interchangeable with the word evil. Black produces only evil deeds, etc., etc. We get into that. Let's continue. And what other word and its synonyms and euphemisms, I might add, that is in and from the imperialists and colonizers' language? Yes, the English language and its dictionaries. Yes, the English dictionaries that can and have most appropriately described, represent, and be accurately pronounced on these alien invasive species, these alien invaders, these alien conquerors, liars, robbers, and destroyers. Yes, these humankind and parasites that came down from the Caucasus Mountain, aka the Caucasians, that through their sorcery, they have hypnotized and deceived almost the entire populations of the earth into believing that they are white, into believing that they represent everything that is white, into believing that they are a white people and a white race of people, etc. Can someone please tell I, the mystic philosopher, what other word and its synonyms and euphemisms that can most appropriately describe, represent, and be accurately pronounced on them other than their own English word, the word black? Personally and honestly, I, the mystic philosopher, can't think of any, nor do I know of any And if you have any more information, please share it with me. I'm open. Thus the phrase, the Black Caucasians. And the record has shown that they have earned the name Black Caucasians, for it is by what? Their fruits. That is how we know them, by their action, by their deeds, by their records. That's how we know that they are the Black Caucasian. Just to remind you that according to their own dictionary, 4B, as mentioned above, black equal what? Evil. And thus, evil personified. The Black Caucasians that deceptively and connivingly, yes, I'm speaking of the Black Caucasians that deceptively and connivingly went among our peaceful and my peaceful and most honorable ancestors, and who were well received by them, being the natural native earthly humans our ancestors were. They trusted them and welcomed them with open arms. They welcomed the strange looking humanoid Caucasian creatures into their villages. They welcomed them into their homes. They welcomed them into their temples. And even they welcomed them into their most sacred spaces. And they welcomed them into their communities. And our most honorable ancestors unselfishly and most wholeheartedly extended their natural and inherent kind hospitality to them. And they treated them not like our ancestors treated them, not like strangers. They didn't treat them like enemies, but they treated them like family. They treated them like blood brothers and sisters. They treated them with respect. They treated them with dignity, empathy, and with humanity. Our most honorable ancestors treated them like they were their fellow neighbors and natural native earthly humans. Humans, though evidently severely deficient, yes, they look different, severely deficient in melanin and lacking in carbon skin complexion, our most honorable ancestors regretfully and mistakenly thought that these creatures possessed human souls, and that like fellow humans, they also mistakenly thought that they had the capacity and the capability to, at the very least, reciprocate their kindness. To be grateful for their kindness, they mistakenly thought that they had the capacity and the capability to show gratitude. However, true to their venomous and intrinsic snake-like nature and characteristics, the Black, meaning evil Caucasians, turn on our ancestors, them meaning our most honorable ancestors, and by extension their heirs and successors, true to their nature, they turn on us their offspring today, or from ever since. And they, guess what they did? They turned on them and they lied, they stole their you know the word, the R word, women and children. They pillaged, they enslaved, they unalived. Yes, they enslaved, they desecrated, they polluted and destroyed. You name it, or you name them. Everything that they could see. And lay their hands, lay their black hands on. Their black hands meaning laying their evil hands on. And then these audacious, immoral, and unethical creatures have the audacity to tell us that they are white and that we are black. The victims are black and they are white. That they are good and that we are evil. To any free thinker, any honest free thinker, an independent truth seeker and observer, their claim to being white just prove how truly black they really and truly are. Now, in the interest of time, my dear beloved, this will be the end of part 17, so please stay tuned There are much, much more thought-provoking truths, insights, and perspectives, etc. to come. So please join me for the continuation in part 18. There I will pick up right where I'm leaving off now. So thanks for watching and listening. And if you think or believe that these my presentation, these my perspectives are worth sharing with friends and whoever, with please share. Please discuss it with your friends and your family. Yes, start your own live and discuss it. Tell the world that I am the one saying this, and please, let's get some rebuttal. Let's see who bring facts and rebut all that I'm saying. In the meantime and between time, here's willing that in your becoming, my people, that you be more and definitely not be less, not less. Let no one be less you. Another trick, but we'll talk about it. For I am the mystic philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say. Thanks again. I well appreciate it.